Hello and welcome to Automate Code. In this short tutorial, we are going to discuss a couple of Oracle database thing, including one of the question was asked in the class was how we can view all of the tables available in a database. And also we will try to discuss a little bit more on subqueries. So let's start. So let's get connected to Oracle. So if you take a look here, we are connecting to the database. The name of the database is system. Okay. Now this database, again, this system database, like we have created some tables in it, and also as it is a system database, it already have some already it has some tables. So when you are trying to uh, when you are trying to bring all the tables for this database, so how will you bring all the tables? So let me can you see that select table name from user tables? So we are talking about from system database, we are bringing all of the tables. Now can you see we have 162 tables. Many of the tables you will see these are system tables because they when you install Oracle, they comes with it. Now can you see the tables that we created are these one? Can you see STT, stored info, BBAA, customers? Can you see these tables? Those are the tables those we created. Other than that, all the other tables are coming with um, with installation. So what is the command to view all the tables? Is select table name from user tables, and it will bring you the system tables plus the tables as a user you are adding or you are creating in this under this database. Remember, system, the keyword system is the database name, and you are giving the password. Manager is the password. Now, so you'll have to scroll down to see, you will get a section where you will get all of the tables that you have created under this database. Now it is already a many thing in the screen. How will you clear it, right? You type host cls, so it will clear your screen. Now let's consider let's consider these two table. Okay, one table is, let's consider these two table. Let's consider this two table. Let's say I want column 3 and number of rows, let's say 4, right? Now let's say m id and then m name and then m address, right? Let's say emp id 100, emp name um, John, emp address, let's say Shamli, emp id 200, let's say emp name um, Navin, and his address is Alpharetta. And then let's say we have another employee 300 and his name is, let's say, and his address is coming, right? Let's say the name of this table is name employee employees, right? And then let's say we have another table. We have another table name employee salary, right? Employee salary info, right? Create this table. Let's create this table here. Again, I'll do another insert. And number of rows, let's say we have 3 rows. Now emp id, and then emp let's say emp salary, right? Let's say this one emp id 100, his salary is 50,000. Let's say emp id 200, his salary is 70,000. And then let's say we have another employee, we are like some of our data, some, we have created a table employees. Some of the employee data is in the employee table and the remaining data are in this table. Okay, let's say his salary is 65,000. Now let's create this two table here. So create table employee, let's say emp id varchar 2, and then his length is 10, right? Varchar 2, and then let's say, let's not give 10, 5. Then emp id emp name, let's say varchar 2, and let's give 10. And then we have another field emp address, let's give varchar 2, another 15, right? So what is the thing, name is already used in existing objects, so we already have a table created as named employee. So let's drop that table, drop table employee. Okay, now let's execute that command. Now table created, right? Now let's input the data. Insert into employee. So what are the field name that we want to input? Emp id, emp name, emp address, right? So these are the three field that we want to input. Let's put the values. So we have a emp id that is bar chart, and we want to input 100 in it, and then emp name. So our employee name is, the first one is John, Novin and Julio. Okay, John, and let's say his address is Shamli, right? So I'm trying to create this table to create, give you an example of subquery. Okay, now first data we have input. Let's input the second data. 200, and then the employee name is Nabin, and let's say his address is Alpharetta, and then let's input the other employee. Let's say he is 300, his name is Julio and his address is coming, right? So now if you want to view all the data from this table, right? Okay, so these are the all data. Now let's create another table where we will be storing the remaining part of the data. Create table like employee salary info, right? Employee salary info. Now there will be a emp id, there will be emp salary. Emp salary will be, instead of barker, it will be a number, right? And then we will remove the other field, right? So now let's insert data into this table, right? So the table name is employee salary info, and emp id, we have emp id and then emp salary and then let's put the values. So first employee id is 100 and his salary is, oh, it's a number, right? So number type data we always input it without quotation. His salary is 50,000, right? What is the emp salary? So emp address, so what, when we created the table, it is emp, oh, our can you see our, actually we spell it SLARY. So let me correct this, emp salary. Now let's input the other two data. And then let's put the value. The second employee is 200 and his salary is 70,000, right? The third employee is, his ID is 300 and his salary is, his ID is 300 and his salary is 65,000, right? Now if you bring all the data, select star from employee and then select star from employee salary info, right? Now you can see that we have, in the first table we have the employee information, basic information. In the second table we have their salary information. Now the question here, if I ask you a question, find the employee information who has highest salary. So the query here, find the employee information who has highest salary. How will you do that, right? So the question here, find the employee information who has highest salary, right? So that means in this table we know that employee 200 has highest salary. Now employee 200, who is that employee? This one, right? Naveen Alpharetta. So we will have to combine, when we are writing the query we will have to combine the answer from these two tables, and we'll have to use subquery here. So let me show you how we do that. Select star from employee. Okay, select star from employee. Now the first thing, we will have to create a connection where employee. Now how will you create the connection? Can you see here what is the common field? Employee ID. Employee ID actually is creating, connecting these two tables, because by employee ID we can tell that this salary is 50,000, is this salary is, for this row. Whose salary? This is John's salary. By, so this employee ID is creating the connection, right? So what I'm going to do, where I'm going to create the connection in the query first, where employee dot emp ID equal to employee salary info dot emp ID, right? And then, and there is another condition. What is the other condition? The other condition is where there will be a subquery, right? The other query is where um, employee employee salary info in, right? Employee salary info in select max emp salary, right? Select max emp salary select max emp salary from employee salary info, right? So what we are saying, if you take a look at this one, we are looking for we want employee information who has highest salary. Now we know that employee ID 200 has highest salary, so we want his details like his name, his address, right? Now this, what we are doing here in this query, we are saying first in this where condition, employee dot emp ID equal to employee dot salary info emp ID, we are creating connection between these two table, and we are giving another condition. We are finding an employee salary info, actually employee salary info dot emp salary in. So what this query will bring, the maximum salary. Let's say the maximum salary is 70,000. So it will bring the employee information who has highest salary. And this, can you see here over there? Let me show you, point you clearly here. This is the subquery that we are using here. First, this subquery, what will it do? It will return the maximum salary. So maximum salary is 70,000. So there will have to be two conditions. First, employee ID will have to be matching, and then the salary will have to be maximum, right? So employee ID, if you take a look, this employee ID where it is matching, employee ID is matching, we have data, but we will have to satisfy another condition. Which one is that? This salary will have to be maximum. Now if you execute it, it is saying that employee salary info emp salary invalid identifier. Let me take a look. Employee salary info. So in this one we have missed something here. If you take a look here, so select star from employee, and then we'll have to mention, like, we are bringing data from two table, employee and employee salary info, right? Employee salary info, and then you put the ID, and then you bring the other lines. Okay, the other line is this one, right? Now you execute it. Now can you see what we are doing? Employee ID, Naveen, Alpharetta, right? It is creating it is it is bringing the data for us. Like we know that Naveen, he makes 70,000, he has higher salary, but can you see this emp ID? It is twice. We do not want it. So what we can do, select select without, instead of giving asterisk, we are going to give emp ID, comma, emp name, comma, emp address from employee, and employee salary info, and then let's bring the other line, and let's bring the this line. Now what is that? Okay, we got something. We have to figure out something over there as well. So can you see this emp ID? We have this emp ID in both table, right? So you have to specifically say from which table we want it. So we want this emp ID from employee table, employee dot emp ID, right? And then we'll put the where condition, and then we'll bring this. Now can you see that we are getting exact data? So that is what subquery is. Can you see here? We have this query, this 123 is as a at a whole is a one query, and inside this query we put another query that is bringing, that is doing some processing first to bring some data to satisfy the condition, and then at a whole it is a query. So this is what subquery is. Hopefully this will be helpful. But again, I'll be sending you this video. If you have any question, let me know. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Bye.